Hello everybody and welcome to the very first episode of JanishaColors. I am so excited to be doing this. I decided to do a total revamp of my YouTube channel, which was very old, and make a whole new one with a whole new name. So from now on I will be going by JanishaColors, which is, of course, Janisha is my first name, and I really like to color a lot, so I thought the two would work perfectly together. So, to start off this very first coloring session, I decided to work on something very festive. I've always wanted to do a Fire Emblem print, and I don't know if you guys have played Fire Emblem Heroes. It's the mobile app game for Fire Emblem, and it's really fun, but they have a lot of Christmas units now. So I really wanted to do a Christmas print of all the Christmas units. I think the one challenging thing about Fire Emblem characters and art in general is that their outfits are incredibly detailed. It literally took me all day to get these outfits the way I want it, because it doesn't help that I am a perfectionist and I wanted every singular detail of their outfits to be in there in some way, shape, or form. All these units that I drew, or all the people from Fire Emblem in these prints are from Fire Emblem Awakening, which is like the Fire Emblem that I was introduced to. I think the toughest part, aside from the details of the outfit, was my method of actually completing the image. I am kind of stuck in the middle on whether I want to paint or I want to do solid colors. And in this picture, or in this particular print, I did a mix of the two. And on top of that, I'm also conflicted as to what programs I want to use. So you'll see me jump back from Photoshop to Sai from time to time, and it was because I was trying to find ways to get certain parts of the outfit to be a specific way. I wanted the details to be there, to, like, I wanted all the details to be notable, which was a pain and like the ultimate living nightmare for me. But it's a good challenge for me, because I tend to be a little simplistic, and when it comes to making up outfits and stuff like that. So it is fun. I appreciate all the details, because it is good as an artist to go a little above and beyond with certain things, especially clothes, because, you know, who doesn't like to be extra fashionable for Christmas? So, like I said, the details and the conflicting art method that I want to do, I'm kind of rediscovering not necessarily my art style, but just my methods of drawing. That's why I'm so conflicted with. I feel in my case though, what works for me works, but now it's time to branch out and see what else can possibly work. So, but overall, I think with the colors, it was really fun working in festive colors, because admittedly I work in cool colors a lot. I mean, I can put up like several of the pictures I've done over the span of this year, and the majority of them are cool. I actually made a challenge for myself earlier in the year to try and work with more warm colors, because I have a tendency to just love the cool colors. I live for the cool colors. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's important to mix it up a little. this wasn't necessarily a challenge to color, but it was a challenge to make it so that the reds don't just like blend into each other, because all the Christmas units are like wearing and rocking the red, so they're red like no tomorrow. But what I noticed about the different art for each unit is that their reds are actually vastly different, even though it's like that particular, there's that Christmas red that you see. They made it a point, each of the artists made it a point to change the value of each unit's red, is what I would like to think. It's just what I see from a viewpoint based on each unit. Christmas Tarja, her red is like, it's this burgundy. Even her cloak is like a darker red than the rest of the units. And then on top of that, she has the brown running through, kind of dull brown running through her outfit to balance out that red. And the red, and each of the artists for all of the units made it a point to desaturate that red, because when I started with it kind of burned my eyes a little bit to be dealing with all this red in one spot. And so I made it a point to look extra hard at each of the reference images I had of all the Christmas units and see what they did with their reds to not make them so saturated. And again, it was putting in those other colors to desaturate the color, if that makes any sense. Christmas Tarja's reds were like this burgundy, and Christmas Robin's were more of your, well, considering he was the main character, both him and Christmas Crom have that more Christmassy red, that more bright red that you see more so often. But again, I didn't want that red to be like boom in your face, like burning your eyes, because that's what it was doing originally. And so I kind of just lighten it up with a pink instead, and then a little bit of a dark red, and that works out. And then when it came to the greens, there was the Christmas tree for one, which kind of, I appreciated how I put the I didn't think about it until way later. And also, fun fact, when I sketched this, I actually sketched it on a church bulletin, because I sing in the choir, and I sit in the choir loft for a little bit, and I get fidgety, so I usually bring a pencil and sketch up there. But anywho, yeah, I appreciated how I placed Christmas Robin's Christmas tree, because it blocked off all the red that Christmas Tarja was rocking, and it also kind of covered her, her bottom half, because there's not a lot down there. It's like literally a thong bikini. It's very, I'm fine with drawing that kind of stuff, but I just figured it's Christmas. I wanted her to cover up just a tad. She's got some leg action going on though, so it's okay. But the tree kind of blocks out the red that Christmas Tarja's about to be rocking as well. And then on top of that, Christmas Robin's tree has this golden, incredibly golden garland. Well, I made mine's incredibly golden kind of by accident, but then I was like, oh, I like this, because it really made the whole thing pop, because their weapons are like bizarre festive items. His Christmas tree is a lance, or the Christmas tree he's holding is a lance, and her candle, the candle that she's holding, is like a spell book. And so yeah, I wanted their weapons to be highlighted, because they're really cute and really fun and really festive. So so yeah, and then there's a lot of gold, and so it's interesting, because the majority of the golds that are on the Christmas units I made them kind of dull because it's like they had so much red and green that was like popping and doing its own thing that it was like there's no point in trying to oversaturate or over highlight all the golden edging and buttons and details. So I just kind of left them kind of dull. I didn't really think too hard on it. And that pretty much wraps up the whole coloring process in general and my thought process on this particular print. Thank you so much for joining me on my very first episode of JanishaColors. As my ongoing appreciation for you guys joining in on my coloring sessions and shenanigans, as I said earlier in the video, I will be giving you a color palette set to play around with. I am calling this color palette series, I'm calling it #JanishaColors. So it's just an abbreviation of my name and colors. I was incredibly torn on which version I wanted for to be my username, so I ended up going with JanishaColors, and I figured why not make a color palette JanishaColors. Every week I will make a color palette, and I will leave a set of colors at the end of the video for you guys to play around with. You can draw something, you can make a sketch, you can make a landscape, you can color something, you can color a line art you did with it, or you can use it to alter your photos or use it in your animations, whatever you see fit for those color palettes, and have fun with them, because I have a lot of fun making them and I have a lot of fun naming them. So this week's color palette for #JanishaColors will be called Synergy. So Synergy will be this week's color palette. There are 8 different hues in the color palettes. They're in the shape of shooting stars, because I love stars. So they're in the shape of shooting stars, so the main part of the star is one color, and then the streams coming from the star are another color palette. And you are free to use them however you see fit. I want you guys to have fun with it, and so forth. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me on my very first coloring session on my new channel. I really appreciate that you've watched this far. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video.